What's up, guys? It's Larry, and this is the Ethical Atheist, and the topic of the day is me, kind of. I wanted to talk a little bit about my background with religion, especially because I think I do a show on the internet about how I'm an atheist and, about philosophy and a lot of other things, so I think it would be good to give a little background about where I came from before I was an atheist. So, like most people who are born in Indiana, I was born into a Christian family, and part of my family is Catholic. My immediate nuclear family was more of a Methodist or watery Protestant. And I say watery Protestant because it really didn't matter to my mom what church we went to, what denomination. She was basically just like, as long as it's some kind of Christian, she didn't really care. So, the church that I first remember going to is, what was the place? Faith Missionary. It would have been great to write some notes before I started this video, but Faith Missionary Church, and they're like halfway between a normal church and a mega church. So they had a couple hundred members, they have a really nice big facility, but it's not like obscenely huge and gross. And it was a perfectly fine church, there was nothing wrong with it, it was just your basic standard Methodist style church. And they did, and as the name would suggest, they did do missions, so they sent members of the church on missions to all kinds of places. And I remember doing like the Trailblazers program and a lot of the programs that they had for youth there. And I did like the Vacation Bible School, and I did all kinds of stuff with them. And those were really, really fun. They knew how to put on a Vacation Bible School. They would set up like huge obstacle courses and have live bands and everything. They knew how to throw a Christian-themed shindig. And when I moved out of the Nora area, the church that I started going to after that was Glendale Christian Church, which was a branch of the Disciples of Christ Church, which is a pretty big organization in Indiana. I don't know if they're national or what, but they have a pretty big organization here. And I went there until I was 17, I believe. But as far back as like age 6, I was really super weird about church. As a little kid, I felt very, very uncomfortable when grown-ups started talking about God and this and that, and I felt really weird during like prayer time at home. And part of that was that even as a super small kid, I would hear an adult go, "Well, I was talking to God about this and that," and I would be sitting there and I'd be like, "But I say the prayers and I do the things and I've never heard a voice in my head." And as a little kid, this was kind of scary to me because I was like, did I do it wrong? Did I not say the magic words in the right order or something like that? But as I grew older, I became more aware of the fact that I just wasn't in with the rest of the group, I wasn't religious like they were. So, and that kind of became a theme throughout my, younger years, was people would say this and that about how they had a religious experience, or they prayed to Jesus and Jesus talked back to them or something like that, and I would sit there and I would think, I have no comparable experience to that, and that's super weird. And as a small kid, this just made me feel uncomfortable about church in general, because there's 300 people all talking to the same guy that apparently wouldn't talk to me. So, as I got older, I realized that, like, even as a 6 and 7-year-old, I was just not religious. And I wanted to be. Like I said, I continued going to church until I was 17, and I continued to try to be religious because I liked the community, I liked, I just liked the social structure. I liked going and having friends that I saw once a week, no matter what, and knowing that if I ever needed anything, there was this huge community of people that would help me. And, there are aspects of the church that are just wonderful and awesome. But as I got older, I realized that I just didn't believe in the things that they believed, and that I couldn't continue in that community when I knew good and well that I wasn't really one of them. So that's a little bit about my religious background, and I went on after I realized that I wasn't a Christian to read about and explore other religions, and I'll do individual videos about all of those because as a teenager, and as a cliche of a teenager, I became really enamored with paganism and Wicca, and I had a lot of friends that were into that as well at the time, and that was an interesting chapter in my young life. But that deserves its whole episode. That's a long thing that I won't go into here. But that's just a little bit about me and my background, so thank you for watching, and as always, may Darwin be with you.